Crows are some of the smartest birds out there, but when an old man started feeding a local raven, he never expected the gift it would bring him, one that moved him to tears. Arnold Harrison was an elderly man who had lived a truly wonderful life. He had met the love of his life, a woman named Amelia, when he was just in his 20s. From the very first meeting, the two had been inseparable, always off chasing new adventures together across the world. After a few years of traveling, Arnold and Amelia came back to their hometown, deciding it was time to settle down and build a life there. They had loved every adventure they shared, but deep down, they both felt like something was missing. After a lot of heart-to-hearts, they realized they both wanted to start a family. Before long, Amelia became pregnant, and both she and Arnold were over the moon with excitement for what was ahead. They dreamed of teaching their child about the wonders of the world and sharing with them the beauty that life had to offer. 9 months later, after a tough pregnancy for Amelia, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. They named her Joy because of the pure happiness she brought into their lives. Arnold and Amelia were natural parents, raising Joy to be just as adventurous, curious, and strong-willed as they were. The family loved taking trips together, heading out wherever their hearts led them. But one thing quickly became clear. Joy absolutely loved birds. No matter where they traveled, Joy would bring along her binoculars and birdwatching book, always eager to see what new birds she could find. Over time, she spotted some pretty rare ones, but her heart belonged to the clever and playful crows. She loved watching them figure out tricky problems, like how to crack open nuts too hard for their beaks. Often, she would give the crows tough nuts and sit back to watch. Sometimes, the birds would cleverly drop the nuts onto the road, waiting for cars to crush them open. Joy was fascinated by their smarts and soon made a habit of feeding the crows in her backyard every day. Before long, she had a little flock of them that would visit her garden regularly. And as the years went by and Joy grew into a young woman, the crows kept coming, arriving like clockwork and cawing until she brought them their treats. Over the years, one crow in particular caught Joy's attention. It looked like any other crow except for one thing. It was missing an eye. Always someone who loved a bit of humor, Joy named the bird Blinky. Blinky quickly became her favorite, and she often gave him extra treats to show how much she cared. In return, Blinky would sometimes leave her little shiny objects he seemed to treasure. Knowing that the crow trusted her enough to share its treasures made Joy feel deeply happy and honored to have its friendship. As Joy got older, she decided to enlist in the army. She thought it would be a career full of adventure and hard work, giving her a new way to see the world beyond how her parents had. When Arnold and Amelia heard the news, they were torn. They were proud of their daughter for following her heart, but they were also scared, knowing how dangerous army life could be. They understood that one small moment could change everything. Even though they worried, they gave her their full support, hoping every day that she would come back safe. But there was someone Joy couldn't explain her sudden disappearance to. Blinky. After she left for boot camp, Blinky still showed up like clockwork, landing in the garden and squawking loudly, confused about why Joy wasn't there with her usual bright smile and handful of food. After about a week of listening to the bird cry out every day, Arnold decided he couldn't just sit by anymore. Since he and Amelia had traveled a lot before starting their family, Arnold was already a bit older by the time Joy left for the army. Now, retired and with plenty of time on his hands, he figured he could step in. Arnold started getting up early every morning, making sure there were enough seeds and nuts to feed all the birds. At first, it just felt like a chore, something to get the noise to stop. But as days turned into weeks, Arnold found himself looking forward to it, wondering which birds would show up. Sure enough, Blinky came every single day to grab his food, but he kept his distance. When Arnold tried to get a little closer, the crow would just flap away. Arnold could tell Blinky wasn't as comfortable with him as he had been with Joy. But the old man was patient. He was determined to earn the crow's trust, especially since Blinky had been the closest thing Joy ever had to a pet. She never believed in caging wild animals that belonged out in the world. After a lot of patience, time, and tempting Blinky with different foods, Arnold finally convinced the crow to eat right from his hand. The old man couldn't have been happier. Slowly but surely, he and Blinky built a real friendship, and before long the bird was just as important to Arnold as it had been to Joy. But just when things were going well, Amelia and Arnold got heartbreaking news. Joy had been hurt while on a mission overseas. The army didn't give them many details, only that the injury was serious enough for her to be sent home to recover. Every day that passed without Joy at home, Arnold grew more anxious. He kept up his morning routine of feeding the birds, but now he sat outside with a heavy heart. Blinky, who had picked up on the change in his friend, seemed puzzled. The crow knew something was wrong, but not what. Hoping to lift Arnold's spirits, Blinky started bringing him little shiny gifts, just like he had done for Joy. Then one morning, Blinky dropped something at Arnold's feet that made the old man freeze. It was an old ring, and not just any ring. It was the very one Arnold had given to Joy when she was younger, with the words "Forever loved" and "treasured" engraved inside. Joy had lost it years ago at the park, and she had been heartbroken, crying for days. Seeing the ring again after all that time, Arnold couldn't hold back the tears. It felt like a sign, like someone, somewhere, was telling him that Joy was going to be okay. A few days later, that feeling proved right. Joy stepped off the plane with some scrapes and bruises, but no serious injuries. Amelia and Arnold rushed to her side, hugging her as tightly as they could, thankful beyond words. After they all calmed down, Arnold showed Joy the ring Blinky had brought him. He explained how, in his darkest moment, Blinky had given him a little piece of hope. Joy was stunned that the ring had been found after all these years. She slipped it back onto her finger, smiling through happy tears, feeling like it was a gift of love, luck, and protection from her old feathered friend. From then on, the whole family made sure the crows in their garden were well fed, but Blinky always got an extra helping of treats. Even though Joy knew their time with Blinky might not last forever, she also knew that he would always be part of their story, watching over them in his own special way. What an amazing story! If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more heartwarming stories just like this one.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with someone who may find it interesting. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.